Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for another Westwood Trust Creative Chat. My name is Claire Williamson, and I am the Director of Education and Community Engagement at Society for the Performing Arts. To describe myself and my surroundings, I'm a white woman with long brown hair and dark-rimmed glasses. I'm wearing a purple sweater, and there are several framed pictures on the white wall behind me. I am thrilled to chat this evening with another awardee of the Houston Artist Commissioning Project, Chris Thomas. SPA's Houston Artist Commissioning Project launched this summer as an opportunity to provide economic and creative support to Houston's artist community. The first phase of this project has been rolling out throughout this fall with 6 virtual commission grantees awarded funds to create original 3 to 5 minute virtual works. To learn more about the Houston Artist Commissioning Project and to learn about applying for the virtual commission phase coming soon, please visit our website. The link is available in the chat and also on screen. Now, before we delve into the conversation, I would like to take a minute to acknowledge the many Indigenous communities that have long used and continue to use this land as a living and gathering space. SPA's offices in Jones Hall are located on ancestral land traversed by the Karankawa, Atakapa Ishak, Sana, and Kolwitekan people. The Alabama Coushatta people migrated to the Houston area over 3 centuries ago, and they have played a large role in shaping the culture and economy of our region. We acknowledge these communities to offer recognition and respect for their lived experience, and to broaden awareness of the forces that have led to this moment. As I mentioned during our last chat, November is Native American Heritage Month here in the United States. This month is a time to celebrate and to acknowledge the important contributions of Native people to our communities. There are so many great events taking place during this month. Our neighbors at the Holocaust Museum Houston are hosting an artist talk tomorrow evening with contemporary Indigenous visual artist Greg Deal. They'll be discussing his activism and his practice as a Native artist. We'll share that link with you all in the chat. It's now my pleasure to introduce Chris Thomas, SPA's Houston Artist Commissioning Project virtual grantee. Chris began dancing and entertaining at a very young age, and by the time he reached 11, he was already being featured in commercials. After taking a break during his teen years to focus on sports and college, Chris returned to his true love, dance, and in 2007, he began traveling the world. He has visited 25 countries as a teacher, competitor, choreographer, and performer. Through dance and entertainment, he has performed alongside artists like Steven Tyler, Keith Urban, Sugar Ray, Lifehouse, Natasha Bedingfield, Kendrick Lamar, Erykah Badu, and more. In 2010, Chris relocated to Bangkok, Thailand to explore dance abroad. There, he trained local pop stars while hosting and performing at events throughout Southeast Asia. He moved back home to Houston a year later and started his own dance company, Sunkissed Dance Theater. With Sunkissed, Chris mentored dancers, and he also provided opportunities for them to expand their talents and become more valuable in the competitive market of entertainment. He now has former dancers who work and tour with Sam Smith, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, and others. When it comes to entertainment, Chris believes he can achieve anything, and his motto is God gave you a talent. Use it. That is your gift to the world. Welcome, Chris. Oh, hang on, I think you're on mute.
Oh, hey, what's going on? How's everyone doing?
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I'm really excited to get this conversation going.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. Yes, I'm super excited.
So I have a couple of questions prepared, but if our virtual audience also wants to chime in, please post a question in the live chat on either Facebook or YouTube, and we'll do our best to cover it.
Yes, talk to me. Talk to us.
Yes, please. We would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
So to start off, I would like for our audience to get to know you a little bit better. We all heard your bio, and
Yeah.
I'm really interested in this decision you made to return to dance after college. What was the moment that sort of brought you back to dance?
So I went to college, I feel like by default, because that's what everyone else was doing. Like, I wasn't necessarily pursuing dance or entertainment at all in high school. So when that time came, I was like, okay, well, everyone else is going to college. My friends are going to college. So I guess that's the next thing to do. So I went to college for 2 years and I was like, wait a minute, I just see my life going a different direction. I was like, this is not what I want to do with the rest of my life. So at that moment, I started actively and aggressively pursuing dance. And if you know anything about dance or entertainment, like me starting at like 20 or 21 is a super late start. But
Yeah.
I just worked my butt off. I literally just started like just playing catch up. I always had the natural talent, natural ability to dance. But it was the training aspect of what I
Right.
needed to catch up on. So I just started aggressively training, finding choreographers or teachers and classes and companies that would take me in and also train me. So at that moment, I knew then I was really ready to do this. And I mean, I never turned back. I didn't have no regrets. I don't miss school. So, but yeah, I mean, it worked out for me. I loved it. I love it. I still do it. So yeah.
Yeah, that really does show. I mean, that takes a lot of dedication to transition to dance and entertainment as an
Yeah.
adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I wrote,
even the travel, 25 countries.
yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
impressive. You've definitely been hustling for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes, man. I love traveling. So that's one of the things is like I think that's like a gift of mine, or even just a talent, or just a love, a God-given love. I was exposed to traveling at a young age. So instead of getting birthday presents, like I would go on family vacations.
Oh, that's
So I
awesome.
always had that idea of seeing other places other than like where I'm staying, and it always been embedded in me. So um, when I got the opportunity to start traveling through dance, I was like, hell yeah, let's go. Like I'm super down for it. And as a matter of fact, to be honest with you, I chose the road and traveling versus like the commercial and popular
Mm,
aspect of the dance versus like going to LA and New York. Matter of fact, I lived in New York for a few months before I made that decision. And I decided to choose the travel aspect because like if I can mix my two loves, travel and dance, I mean like it was the conversation was easy. Let's go. So but yeah, 25 countries. I toured, performed, taught. I lived in Bangkok for a year. So yeah, I've been all over. I've been to Nepal, all through Middle East, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, like the places that you don't even think about going there. You don't even look at the map. Like I tell people these places, they're like, "Where is that on the map?" And I have to literally show them. Like I've been there, and I've been to these places a few times. Some of my best
wow.
friends have been in the Middle East. Believe it or not, I love the Middle East. Um, I've ventured all over Southeast Asia. So yeah, of course I've been to the Americas. I've kind of
Mhm.
traveled around the Americas. I've actually probably been to more countries than states, to be honest with you. To be honest, but I love Canada. I like going to Mexico. So yeah, I've kind of been all over. I've been to Hawaii like 3 or 4 times through entertainment. I've been to every island, every major island in Hawaii.
Wow.
Dance and all this stuff has been through dance. To be honest with you, dance and entertainment. Like my talent literally has taken me across the world.
That's incredible. I'm
Yeah,
sure also with the travel aspect, you get to pick up all sorts of different types of dance, different styles,
yeah,
different, like folk historical techniques and
yeah.
some music as well. I'm sure that must be really
Exactly.
cool.
So when we go overseas, usually they greet us, and they greet us with their local traditional dancers and dances. So like we see that, and sometimes we have to take the workshops of the traditional dances as well as they take our dance. So there's a mixture in both, and I feel like I find it super amazing to where we can find like the similarities in the movements. Uh,
Mhm.
Through the cultural dance and through like the subculture that I'm part of, which would be like the hip hop street dance community. So it's always mind blowing just to see even like the raw talent when it comes to these dancers and these dance styles. Because to be honest with you, when the internet like connected everyone in the world, there's no such thing as like a gap of lost information. Like everyone just like literally locked in. So to see the level and the quality of a lot of the dancers in like these isolated places are amazing. It's mind blowing. It's really like I take videos, take pictures. I come back and show my homies. I'm like, yo, check this out. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So your dance is then fused with all these different
I wouldn't say
influences.
fuse because I don't have the foundation and the know-how, but I would say definitely I would use the music. I use the music sometimes,
Mhm.
and I put in what I know on top of the music. 'Cause I don't want to disrespect no one's style of
Sure.
dance or their culture, and I don't have the information enough to like use it. And then I don't even know the names of it, so I keep it where it's at. I respect it. So I mean, but I'm always open to it. Like I've never been like shut down and open, closed to it. Like I'm always open to whatever that's presented. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's dance, it's us, it's you. Like, don't just come
Mhm.
and look at me. I want to see you. I want to see you in your raw element, your form, and your talent, in all your aspects.
Yeah, totally. So how have things been with COVID and the travel shutdown? I know that you were in Mexico a couple months ago, but I'm sure your normal routine has probably been shook up.
Yeah, I went from 100 to 0 real quick. Now that Drake song goes from 0 to 100. I went the opposite way. Yeah, it's shut down everything. My last time traveling was February, and believe it or not, man, this year alone was going to be it was going to be outrageous. I had some really cool places lined up that I wanted to go. Not that I was booked, but it's just places that I was going to go for
Right.
competitions and just to. I love traveling around and dancing. To be honest with you, I would really bounce around to event from city to city just to like connect with the local dancers and party and get their
Yeah.
stories, just hang out. But of course, all of that has been canceled and closed and shut down. So it's been super interesting dealing with like everyday life. Suitcases just look at me and I just look back at them. I walk. But actually, I did take a trip to West Texas on my birthday in June,
Nice.
and we went to the desert. We went to Monahan State Park. I went to Big Bend. We stayed in Marathon, Texas. Went to
Beautiful.
Enchanted Rock in Fredericksburg. And I'm gonna be honest, like that trip, that 1 week trip that we did, has literally just like changed my perspective on everything. Because at first,
Really?
if it wasn't for the shutdown, I wouldn't even be thinking about these places. I'll be thinking about Amsterdam, London.
Mhm.
Let's go back to Mexico. Let's go to Canada. Like I'm thinking about
Right.
like these places.
Distance. Mhm.
Exactly, distance. But now, since those things are taken away from us, I had to focus on like the local things and the beauty that we have right here. And like this 4 hours away, 6 hours away. So I went out there, man, and me and my friends, we went out there. We brought our DJ equipment, and we literally just had a good time. Like I have so many videos, so many pictures, like quality. I took a photographer with me, so it's like me and my friends. We're all dancers. Two DJs, and so like we just took our art and placed it in these places where we went, and man, it was amazing. And it's to the point to where it's like now those places are more on my radar now than like maybe going overseas, because now I want to create something maybe that's here in a different environment that's just
Mm.
as beautiful as other different places, just because like I mean I was just opened up to that. So travel has definitely been taken away, I guess, abroad, but like it's always finding the inspiration to do something maybe local. Everything hasn't been taken away,
Sure.
just a major part of it. So me being a creative and me just having this exploration spirit, like okay, cool, like what is available, like that
Yeah.
available is like, so it's always finding a silver lining. We can't have
Mhm.
this and this. Like what can we have? Like just what can we explore? What can we create? And I've always been like that. It's just a thing. Is like let's figure out a way to make this happen. So yeah,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
of
I
course,
feel like such a general like, it's something that's come up in my conversations with some of the other grantees, and I'm seeing this in yours as well. I mean, it's
yeah.
just the ingenuity that comes with being a creative, that when you're
Mhm.
faced with these new limitations and new parameters that sort of
Yeah,
change the way you have to do your work, you're still able to come up with something amazing and beautiful and new.
yeah,
Um, yeah, it's incredible
yeah,
to hear about the new ways you're adapting to not being able to do what you would have done during
yeah,
this
for
time.
sure, for sure.
Absolutely. We have a question. I think this is a great one. Why Houston? How did you end up here? Does it fit into
Born and
the
raised.
world in a specific way or
All right. Yes. All right. So I'll give like, and this story is amazing. I won't say it's a story, but believe it or not, Houston or just Texas in general is a melting pot of entertainment, of everything. I mean, it's so vast and it's so rich in Texas, but it's not commercialized and it's not big. Our major industry, of course, in Houston will be oil and gas.
Mhm.
So those things pretty much kind of take over all of that thing. And Texas is a very conservative state, believe it or not. Um, when it comes to entertainment, it's very limited of options that you can
Hmm.
go. And also like the arts is not as promoted. It's not as big. Like I said, it's not as commercial as going to like Atlanta, New York, LA, et cetera, et cetera. But the same quality is
Right.
right here. For me, example.
Yeah.
I just never left Houston, to be honest with you. Of course, the few times that I did move away from New York and Bangkok,
Mhm.
but I always came back because, to be honest with you, I'd rather be a big fish in a small pond than be a big fish with other big fish in a
Yeah.
bigger pond. So those things have always kind of kept me here. And on top of that, like I have more room and more freedom to create something here versus being in
Mhm.
those other places. And I always tell like even young artists that I teach and that I mentor is like, hey, but like whatever works for you works for you. I'm not saying like you got to do this and do that. It's just got to find your place in the industry or on earth to do it at. Um, it's not always the right answer to stay home. It's not always the right answer to move across the world. It's not always
Right.
the right answer. Like, what's your answer? Whatever your answer is the right answer. And one of my mentors said it best to me. He was like, "Do it your way." So that's what I decided to do. Is like, I'm just do it here. Houston has always been my hub. I can leave and go wherever
Mhm.
and come back.
Great airport. Yeah.
Like,
There's.
like, I mean, there's straight flights from here to Dubai. Like,
Yeah.
so it was like, okay, you can go I can be anywhere.
Oops. There we go. I think we lost
I'm
you
back.
for a second.
Woo, that was
You back?
close. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
back. And also my family is here. I love my family, so I need to be close to my family. So yeah.
Totally. Yeah. You were talking about influences from like mentors and other big fish. What artists or creators do you look up to or find inspiring right now?
So my very first dance teacher passed away. His name was Arthur MacArthur. It's funny because his name and his last name rhymed.
Yeah.
So I started dancing. My mom actually introduced me to dance at 7 or 8 years old. She put me on a dance company called the Acres Homes Dance Company. It was in Acres Homes, of course, on the north side.
Hmm.
That was my very first dance teacher. He passed away when I was younger.
Hmm.
Then moving into like the actual like my adult world when it came to dance. There's a very famous crew that I'm a part of called Havoc Choral. They became my mentors and teachers. They kind of
Hmm.
like pretty much just taught me the game, taught me everything. I won't say everything about dance, but like pretty much navigated me through the freestyle world and put me on when it comes to different styles of dance and explaining to me what hip hop was, what it wasn't, and different things like that. And then so pretty much I owe like everything to like have a choral to Arthur MacArthur, my first dance teacher. And then moving on when I had my dance theater company, Sun Kids Dance Theater, Harrison Guy was my mentor through that. So it's like every step I go, like there's somebody there to like kind of help me out and push me through. So honestly, to this day, like right now, between like my guys that have a choral and then Harrison, and then like I have some other influences outside of the state. I can go
Hmm.
start like going to New York. I have a guy that's named Cricket that he puts me on game. Um, so yeah, between like all those, and I have like a lot of more. I want a lot of more teachers throughout the nation, pretty much in the world. They kind of like if I have questions or I need something, or they'll tell me like, "Hey, you need to tighten it up," type situation. And
Right.
those are the people I go to, and not just on dance, even on life. And also
Yeah.
like my friends and the people that I have around me, like we always challenge ourselves, challenge each other because we're super competitive. Believe it. When it comes to the underground styles of dance, street dance, like everything's competitive.
Oh yeah. I
Everything's
absolutely believe
competitive. So like we can be in a very friendly cipher, but if you slacking, you're gonna feel it.
that. Hmm.
You never want to be
Yeah.
slacking. So we keep our knives sharp. So we sharpen our knives amongst each other, and then we go back and talk mess about each other, and then we all hang out. And but yeah, those are the people that molded me through entertainment and dance, and also through more so entertainment. A guy named Damon Pampolina. He's one of the people that put me on when it comes to corporate entertainment. Like he showed me the game when it comes to that. And I find my style of corporate entertainment mimic his, because he was actually the only teacher, the only person I work with, and he's like world class when it comes to corporate entertainment. And I'm lucky enough to have him right there by my side when I'm doing the stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that that thought that the underground dance community, you guys all hold each other to a standard that makes you want to be your best self.
Mm-hmm.
Your best, absolutely. This is a great question.
Yeah.
What is the best criticism you've ever received?
Woo-hoo. I don't know, because I'm be honest with you, like I don't really listen to a lot of criticism because I critique myself really, really hard. Like I'll step outside of myself when I'm looking at my art or looking at my dance or my choreography, whatever I'm doing. And I'm the first one. You can ask anybody. I'm the first one to tell myself like, yo, that was whack. You need to do better, or things like that. I've never really had like I've always had like motivational criticism, like, okay, like you can like okay, this is a good start, you can grow off of this, or things like that. I know what that means. I teach too, so it's like I know what those things mean. Like I said, I think Harry gave me the best words, man. It's like do it your way. And whatever that way was, like if it's a low quality way, if it's a high quality way, or you don't have to follow a certain template, you don't have to do like, you can be really good at being bad and like people like it, or you can be really bad at being good and people still like it. But that's your way. It's still your way. Like once you find your corner and your market and your niche audience, like no matter what you put out, like take for instance, like with whoever your favorite artist is, you don't agree with everything that they do, but the overall body of work is what you tend to lean to. So yeah, that's probably my best criticism is probably do it your way, or like you can grow from here, or maybe you should take that class, or maybe you should talk to this person. Like I know what those words mean. Like tuck your tail. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah. So I would love to talk more about the fact that you're both a performer and an educator. How does being a mentor and a teacher to the next generation, how does that impact your own work? And what's your favorite thing about working with pre-professional and emerging dancers?
Okay, so I'm gonna go backwards because I heard the question first. I heard the last question that's still on my mind. The best thing I like about working with pre-professionals is I can be 100% raw and honest with them, because this is something they're interested in. So I don't have to babysit no one. I don't have to like dumb down any of my advice or my critiques. If they're whack, I say they're whack. If they're bad, I say they're bad. If they're great, I say they're great. If they need to improve, I say they need to improve. Because to be honest with you, and I keep saying that, let's just be honest the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
Entertainment is one of the hardest industries to be in, because it's honest. Like you literally walk up, like a stranger will walk up to you and like, yo, you're too fat for this, or you get cut because you're too tall, or your skin is too dark, or your hair is too short, or you weigh a certain amount. Like, so you need to know these things now. You need to be able to handle it and have tough and thick skin before you even step foot in whatever you're doing. So I give it to them raw. I'm like, okay, like this is like, even if they're practicing, I was like, okay, this is a strong 5. But you can do better. And if you can't do better, then we have 2 doors in the dance room. Just pick one. And if you want to be pushed in, like exit. If you want it, you want it.
Yeah.
Period. I want to work with sharks. All right. I don't want to work with minnows. Like I want to work with the sharks. So I give it to them raw. Like I show them all of my emotion. I show them, like, I don't hold back on nothing at all. If I'm upset, they know it. If I'm excited, they know it. I give them 100% me. So when I feel like they're lucky because they get a example of an artist that's still working, or that's been there, or that's been where they're trying to go. Like, and I have full experience. I had at one point I had to sit down with one of the kids one time, and before I even said nothing, I just gave him my resume. I was like, read my resume so you can know what you're dealing with before you come at me like that. And then after that, we've been fine ever since. So and I give it. That's how I deal with them. I deal with them like it's like I'm their choreographer on this world. tour or whatever. So that's how I did. What was the other question before that?
Oh, how does being like both a performer and an educator sort of
Okay.
impact your own work? Do
Um,
you collaborate with your students or
nah,
yeah.
nah, nah. Those worlds don't mix at all for me. They don't. They
Okay.
don't really mix. I keep the education with the education. I keep the performing with the performance. They've seen me perform before.
Mhm.
They've been a part of my productions, but it was my choreography on them.
Right.
They're not there yet to like do collaborations, and I just
Mhm.
want them to know. I want them to grow to their best ability to get to where their full potential is. But I also give them like self-expression moments all the time. Like, here's a moment, here's 2 8 counts of freestyle, or here's the concept behind the movement that I need from you. And it's like, I need the idea. I don't need dance right now. I need you to express this idea through movement, whatever that is. So we go through exercises like that so I can get 100% them and not
Mm.
robots. And I tell them all the time, like, I'm not here to program robots. I'm here to work with artists. I'm not a
Yeah.
robot programmer. I'm not here for that. So if you need me to give you like all of the formulas, you can't figure it out on your own. This is not the industry for you. Because
Yeah.
this industry, you have to be hella creative. Because I tell them all the time, it's like, hey, you can dance. It's great. Okay, there's like 5 million people in the world that can dance. It look just like you.
Mhm.
Okay, so like, who wants it worse? Who wants it better? Who's working hard? Who's training? Who's going to get that job? And one day, y'all two are going to meet. It's going to be in a competition. It's going to be on the stage. It's going to be in an audition. Like,
Right.
where
Yeah.
where you going to land? And it's not based on, it's nothing to do with you. It's not personal at all. It's based on what you present and if you're ready for that moment, because that moment is going to come. Your moment, it might take 10 years, it might take 2 days, it might take 5 years, it might happen next week, but your moment is going to come. And when that moment comes, are you going to be prepared and ready to take advantage of that moment? So that, because that one moment can shoot you to the next moment. And now
Right.
you're living amongst the stars and living your dreams and whatever. So
We have a comment that it says, Chris is an amazing teacher. Just wanted to share that with you.
look at that. Hey, thank you.
Um, it definitely sounds to me like your identity and your experience as a performer does add something to you as an educator for sure. Like it
Yeah,
adds credibility,
yeah, you're right.
you're
You're
able to
right. Yeah,
have insight and push your students because you know what is out there for them. Absolutely.
yeah,
That's so important, especially for pre-professionals. Yeah.
yeah.
I'd love to pivot quickly. We've had such a great discussion so far, but I do want to have a chance to preview, do a little tease of your premiere coming up on Thursday. Is there anything you want to share about the inspiration for that piece or
Yes.
highlights?
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna give you the whole story because it didn't start off as like that product. I mean, it took like a whole different range to even get there. Uh,
Yeah.
it kind of just came together by like default, to be honest with you. All right, so um, here's the journey. Everyone strap in, grab some coffee and tea and some popcorn.
All
Um,
right.
here's the journey. It all started off watching Netflix, watching the Miles Davis documentary.
Okay.
So check it out. If you haven't seen the Miles Davis documentary, like check it out. It's some very insightful things. Um, to like here's one of the biggest points in that movie. It has nothing to do with what I'm doing or whatever. I just want to mention this because it's on my mind.
Yeah.
So his ex-wife, or his wife at the time, was supposed to be Maria in West Side Story. So Maria in West Side Story was originally casted for a black woman.
Wow.
Crazy, which was his wife. He pulled her out and I don't like this part of the story. He pulled her out of the movie because she was getting too much attention, et cetera, et cetera.
Hmm.
It was a moment of his career where he was coming down. He was like wanting to be a family man or whatever, and she was like
Right.
starting to get a lot of attention, accolades, whatever. But that kind of like that has nothing to do with anything. But anyway, I'm
That is really cool though.
it's like it's
No
a
idea.
fun fact. Like it's but dude, watch documentaries. Don't watch the
Mhm.
movies, TV shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch documentaries, get the real story. Anyway,
Mhm.
watching his movie, watching this documentary really put me. I know who Miles Davis is. Fun fact: I did a tour in India, and I had a Miles Davis T-shirt on. Like I was watching, I'm like, dude, that's my okay. Wait a minute. Anyway, I go on. So Miles Davis, his music really like captivated me watching the documentary. I've heard of his music before, I've listened to it, but I've never like really got into it. And just the story behind it and his story. Sometimes I fall in love with the artist before I fall in love with the art. So watching this documentary, I really like I found similarities in like what I do and who I am and how I express myself, how I express myself. Not to the extreme of what he was doing. I'm not on drugs, so don't say I'm just saying as far as like the artistry goes, not the lifestyle.
Right, as a creative.
As a
Totally.
creative, exactly. So his music just really captivated me. I'm like, dude, like, what can I do? Like, it inspired me. It really inspired me. I was like, what can I do with this music? Like, what can I do with this? So listen to his music every morning. I used to wake up every morning and listen to jazz and sip tea in my garage. This is all through quarantine. This is all like March,
Yeah.
April-ish, when everything very first shut down. I'm in my garage sipping tea, listening to like jazz in my garage or whatever. Listen to Miles Davis. I don't know how I got on the idea of okay, so that happened, and then me just sitting around thinking about like how can I utilize the shutdown for like a benefit to art? Like how can I create in this time like this?
Right.
So I had the idea of creating a just a video, just going through the not the museum district, the theater district, showing, I guess, how everything is shut down, how it affects an artist. So I was like, in order to show that emotion, let's look at mimings, look at like videos of miming or mimes or clowns that did this in the past. So look through Charlie Chaplin and stuff. I was like, yeah, that's cool. Everyone knows Charlie Chaplin. Is like, it really didn't push me because like I've seen so much of Charlie Chaplin stuff. So I went a little deeper and found Marcel Marcoux.
Okay. Yeah.
And super powerful, super talented, and like super high quality. I'm not sure like why he wasn't as big, but like his stuff was so in depth with me because I think it was more on the lines of dance versus just acting. So watching him do inspired the crap out of me. I'm like sitting here, it's like, and you start seeing like similarities of like certain moves when it comes to street dance he was doing. And this is like the 70s, early 70s. He did a premiere with Michael Jackson. And this moments like that is like, dude, like you were really like in the dance community. Like you were really big, but not big, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, totally.
So like I'm just watching his videos. I'm like, in being inspired by this, I want to tell a story on how the theater district is shut down, and I'm this artist. I walk up to the doors, everything's shut down, everything closed. My friends are gone, the audience is gone. It's a desert town. It's a deserted town. So I'll call my friend Joel Martinez. He's a really good videographer, really good photographer. Called him up. I was like, hey, I want to shoot this video. The museum, not the museum. I keep saying museum district. Maybe something's coming up for me in the museum. In the theater district, and I'm gonna come in like mime makeup, like the clown makeup or whatnot. So I go, we talk about it. I was like, okay, cool. So we go to the theater district, and I want to shoot in front of like pretty much. I want to shoot in front of like a few theaters, not just one.
Right.
He's probably gonna hate me for this, but he was being extremely lazy. And he was like, man, let's just go ahead and just do it like right here. I'm like, oh no, that's the idea. That's not my concept.
Right.
Just shoot it right here. It's so much stuff to play with right here. So I was like, okay, fine. So like if we get done over here, can we move around? So so we shoot it down Jones Hall. We shoot at Jones Hall, and just pretty much exploring the movement. And I'm going into character and showing the emotion. And the way he's shooting it is like it's beautiful because he shot it in slow mo, so you pick up every tiny detail. So we were kind of just playing with emotions. It was okay, so how do you react with this? There's this. How do you react to that? So it's kind of just like telling like a bunch of small stories around or whatever. We do a lot of stuff in the street. We do stuff across the street. We do stuff in water and like et cetera. We have like 30 minutes of footage.
That's
So
great though to work with. Yeah.
yes, you always want to have more, not less.
Hmm.
So look at the footage, and like we're blown away, like completely captivated. It's like excuse my French, but we were like, what the fuck? Like it's like blown away of the quality and the movement and the emotion and the like everything about it. Because once again, it's the first 2 months of the city being shut down. There's not that many cars on the street, so it's moments where I'm like, y'all will see. It's moments
Right.
where I'm not like, there's no cars around. It's like, how
Right.
is it possible downtown Houston? But it's also a Sunday too. Um, so we take that, we look at that footage, and I'm like, dude, like, what do we do with this? And and the whole idea was to post it on social media, but I was like, this is bigger than social media. This is way bigger. This is not just a video that I'm gonna leave on my wall and just keep moving. Like, I got to do something
Yeah.
with this. So now we have the idea of like, scratch social media. Like, what if we make this a short film?
Mm. Hmm.
And actually put this in film festivals and like push it as a short film. I've never done anything like that. It's always been dance for me. So had that idea. He started doing the edit for it, and the edit just came out even more powerful. He's like, dude, like I'm gonna tell you this before I send it to you. He said, I watched this a few times, and I low key cried. And I was like,
Wow.
whoa, it was like, send it to me. So he sent it to me. I seen it, and it was like, it's way beyond the idea that I had, the original idea. Like this was way more in depth. This was way deeper.
Right.
I mean, everything, I mean, you've seen it. It's like, it's really
Incredible.
emotional. And I guess the energy and the inspiration behind it is, man, to be honest with you, it's like, as an artist, you deal with frustration, you deal with hurt.
Hmm.
Like it's like, I mean, during the quarantine is like just like relationships, like all that stuff kind of like goes into a place. And I just channeled that place and put that place, or I replaced that place with like creativity. And I mean, and the emotion that you're seeing in that video, I mean, is real. It's real emotion. So just that alone, and I sent it to a few people, and they were just blown away how powerful it was.
Yeah.
And it's up for interpretation. I like to like create things that's literally up for interpretation. Like there's no theory behind it. There's no story. I can just give you the concept and the idea, and
Right.
I just let you take that and do whatever you want to do with it. But yeah, man, the name of the character is Tiptoe Thomas, and that name came a while back because the style of dance that I tend to lean towards is house. I love house, and there's a lot
Hmm.
of work. So I was like, man, it's like the way I'm dancing now when it comes to footwork and things like that is like, I'm using a lot of my feet. Like, what's a cool name I can possibly change my name to? And I was
Yeah.
like, Tiptoe. And then like put Tiptoe, and then I put my last name, which would be Thomas. It's like, okay, let's just make Tiptoe Thomas. And then
Perfect.
fast forward to this video, watching it is like, the character needs a name. And it's like, I never had a place for Tiptoe Thomas. Like, now let's make him Tiptoe Thomas. Like, Tiptoe Thomas is his whole character on its own. He's not inspirational. He's not like, hey, you can shoot for the stars.
Right.
Everything is great. It's more of an emotional, like a like deep channeled energy comes out of Tiptoe Thomas. And just because of the whole with the makeup, you can't see me. Like, you just see a character that I'm embodying, and it tells a totally different story. So like,
Yeah.
that's the inspiration behind Tiptoe Thomas and the story.
That is incredible. Thank you so much for sharing the whole journey with us, because I think it's gonna make the experience of seeing it so much more meaningful for our audiences. I mean, I know when I saw it, we were all really blown away by the just the emotion and the way that you convey it through these gestures and these expressions and the videography. So I think it's going to be. I'm really excited for our audience
Yeah.
to catch that. And now they have some great insight
Yeah.
into your
Oh,
process.
small disclaimer. I did say we have 30 minutes of footage. It's not 30 minutes. It's only like 5 to 6 minutes.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
we just have a lot of footage, but the Tiptoe Thomas is only 5 to 6 minutes.
Yeah. No. And I think it's great to have it condensed down into the highlight reel, basically, or a really nice condensed version. Yeah.
And I haven't even seen the rest of the footage, to be honest with you, so I don't even know what that looks like. I can
You're
only
just trusting your videographer. Well, he seems to be a really fantastic director,
and the filter that he used, and then even the clothes that I decided to use. Like I had a beanie and gloves the same color, so I just cut my fingers up the beanie and all that stuff.
yeah, absolutely.
Say hi, Amberly.
Hey, how are you?
I
I'm on the website right now. Yes, Claire.
okay. Yeah, well, that is, I think this is a great place. Before we sign off, I do want to give you an opportunity to plug anything that you have going on that you would want to share with our audience, any projects coming up or anything else that you want us to know about.
No projects coming up. I'm just going to end the year just creating and thinking and trying to repossess. I want to create, just pretty much creating and thinking. I have some inspiration behind a new project that's in my head. I just got to figure out the who, what, when, where, how, and why, all those elements behind it. But I'm gonna pretty much end 2020 as it is now. I'm just with ideas and still, of course, still practicing and getting that stuff together. But I think I want to go this next project. I want to go like really, really, really deep. And it's dealing with water. Like I'm captivated by water right now. Like water is literally taking like all of my attention. I'm researching like free diving now, like scuba diving, snorkeling, like more so the free diving, but the free diving is so extreme. But yeah, I'm like just this underwater worlds, like people taking pictures with whales, like holding a shark's fin. It's like that stuff is like mind blowing. So I feel like that's like they're living life like right now. Like they're living life. Not saying I want to go and swim. I want to go do that, but just the idea of saying like hey, like I want to do this and like exploring a whole nother world, like there's a whole other world, an unknown world under the surface. So, and it could be prophetic in life, like what's underneath the surface. And I guess I can leak the name of the project or whatever. It's going to be called Water Signs.
Wow.
I don't know what that is. I'm a water sign. I'm a Cancer. I'm not emotional. I just care a lot.
I understand that. I'm a Pisces. So water sign.
So yeah, so that's and it's not going to do nothing with zodiacs, whatever. I just want to go deep with whatever that is. I've just been kind of just researching just water and movement, like how, who, what, when, and how, all that stuff. And also, I just launched my my private DJ service company called Pro Party Starters. And you can find it on my website. If you go to christopherthomas.org, there's a link on my website for the Pro Party Starters, and that website is propartystarters.net. So yeah, that's with my corporate and private entertainment DJing services, and I'm really good.
I bet. I'm sure. Well, we'll definitely share those links in the chat for folks to find that information after this.
Yes.
But I'm really excited.
Another one. I have more. It's coming to me. I'm sorry, Claire. I didn't mean
go for it.
My students, we just got back into rehearsals like 3 weeks ago. We're doing an outdoor concert here at Westside, December 12th. It's free. You can sit on the grass. It's going to be we have a covered basketball court. It's going to be on the court, super urban looking. I love it because there's a brick wall right behind it, and you can see the sunset. And oh my God,
that's so cool.
It's cray. But yeah, my students, we're going to do a 1 hour concert, so they can have something to look forward to because they've been dancing online since August, and it's not the same because we have to literally clean up all the choreography that they learned online.
Yeah,
like I wasn't learning. I was just like, what is that? Anyway, but yeah, December 12th, my students will be performing. But that's it for me. I might do like a block party next week during Thanksgiving week. But of course outdoors, and not just on a block, but like a very unique place in Houston that I love. It's a wide open field with a great view of downtown. But I guarantee you probably never been there. Or if you've seen it, you just didn't pay attention to it. But me knowing and so yeah, we'll see.
Well, we'll have to stay tuned for that. For sure. That sounds incredible too. Very exciting. Yeah.
That's about it.
Well, thank you so much, Chris, for sharing your time with me this evening. This was a fantastic conversation. I want to thank everybody who joined us virtually and everybody who engaged with us during the conversation. And also a huge thank you to our program sponsor, Westwood Trust. Before we sign off, we've shared some of Chris's links in the chat. This is also his Facebook page on the screen. I definitely encourage everyone to check out what Chris has going on, to follow him on Facebook and Instagram.
I'm way more active on Instagram. Only reason, to be honest with you, the only reason I'm on Facebook is for my family. Because they always want to know what I'm doing. And so it's all for my mama, my grandma, my aunts, my cousins, and they friends. Like my grandma's friends, we comment on myself. I'm like, whatever. But I'm way more active on Instagram. The Instagram, you'll get the everyday insight of me. Like I share way more stuff on Instagram.
Great. Okay, then we will definitely share your Instagram in the chat as well. And yeah, please, to all of our audience, please stay up to date with what Chris is going on, because I'm really excited about this water project, and I can't wait to see what comes next. I'm sure everyone else does too. So yeah, please check out his work and support him as an artist.
Scuba diving lessons coming in 2021.
All right, I love it.
I want to go scuba diving, probably somewhere in South America or Mexico.
Perfect. Oh, what a wonderful return to travel. Okay, that sounds fantastic.
Taking my art underwater to see what that looks like.
I can't wait. It's going to be. I think it's going to be really cool. I love it. Yeah. Well, thank you again, Chris, so much for sharing your time with me this evening and for allowing our audience to get to know you better. Absolutely.
Check out my work Thursday. Tell 2 people, and then hopefully those 2 people tell 2 more people, and then the cycle keeps going. But please check out Tiptoe Thomas Thursday, 7 p.m. Is this the platform that it'll be on?
Yes, it'll be here and on YouTube and on the SPA website. And that is date and time right below. Yes. Thanks so much, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you, Claire. SPA. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. SPA is a nonprofit organization, and if you enjoyed this conversation, please consider learning more about what we do at SPA and supporting our work and the work of our amazing Houston Artist Commissioning Project artists. Our website is also going to be in the chat. And like I said, save the date for Chris's premiere, which will be on Facebook, on YouTube, and on SPA's website, taking place on Thursday, November 19th at 7 p.m. We'll see you all then.